Social Life Podcast. My name is Deanna Miller. I am sometimes the marketing director of Stark Social Media Agency. I am a jack of all trades, if you will. And then there's this guy over there.
Hey.
Hey.
The creative director.
Nate Imhoff is with me, as always, for the podcast today. So there's a lot of stuff going on in the social news.
The social webs.
The social webs, if you will. Facebook kind of took people by surprise. Or Instagram, I guess. Whatever. They're all the same thing. Instagram took people by surprise. They had been... Oh my goodness, audio guru. They had been apparently teasing about doing a copycat of Snapchat for a while now. We're in August, and this rumor started back in February.
Febtober.
Nate doesn't know the months. He always asks me. He's like, "What month is it this year?" I don't know.
You got to put that sound effect in there. The Celebrity Jeopardy from SNL.
Oh, from SNL
with Sean Connery. Febtober.
That's a great skit. Maybe you should talk about it on Instagram stories. So we were talking about Instagram stories today. There's a lot of news and articles and stuff. And one of the Facebook groups that I manage, this question came up. It's like, well, is this better? Should I just ditch Snapchat? Does it matter? I don't get Snapchat anyway, so I haven't really used it. Is this important? So we're going to talk about Instagram stories today, or Snapchat, which is better for your business and why should you use it. So we're going to talk about that today. We were chatting a little bit about Snapchat.
We were chatting about Snapchat.
Snapping about chatting.
We were not.
Chatting.
We were not on Snapchat chatting to each other.
No.
Anyway, we're confusing.
I have implemented Snapchat for a couple of our customers, and they use it because they're brands on the go that they can do it for themselves, so I don't have to sit there and manage it for them. But brand stories have become really significant on Snapchat, but there's a lot of people who still do not like Snapchat. Go figure. So the News Stories application, it's actually just a feature within the Instagram application, which is what a lot of people are really, 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 really liking. It enables users to share favorite moments in 10-second increments, videos, or photos into a story that gets compiled, and it's stored literally right away on your Instagram profile. So viewers of your profile can see the stories, and then they can also see your images. To me, it just seems like kind of like a no-brainer, but we'll talk about the differences. We'll talk about which ones are better than others in terms of, the different types of technology and things. So what people are really liking, and what I like as I've tested it out over the last 24 to 48 hours, is it's not really intrusive to what you're already used to in the Instagram experience. The Instagram stories, if you're on your profile, it literally shows up just right at the top. You see these little circles with the faces of people who you're following. And those are the people who've recently shared stories. So you can tap on those and you can see a bunch of videos, and then you can swipe your way to seeing the next ones. And then according to what I've read online, Social Media Today shares that it's, Instagram is saying that in 24 hours, that little story that you've shared is gone. So
forever
and ever. So it's similar to Snapchat in a lot of ways. People are kind of going like, "Oh, Instagram, you're mean. You stole Snapchat's idea." But we've seen this a bunch, right? In what we do, nothing is proprietary.
Well, everybody's fighting for the audience. So what Snapchat has is they just own the millennial hearts and minds. They have like 41% of their users are millennials. So I think the big problem with Snapchat is that using it, they've never really captured attracting brands there. I mean, brands go there and discovery for users, you almost have to beg. It's like the early days of Facebook, where it's like, please like our page, please follow us on Snapchat. Where Instagram, every time you add a user or something, it comes up and says, hey, this user from Facebook is on here.
Right.
So it's much easier to find brands on Instagram than it is to find on Snapchat. So that's the huge advantage for a company.
Well, I think to tail end on that, I think what's big for small businesses and nonprofits is they probably can't afford the pay to play that comes along with Snapchat to be
Right.
featured as a featured brand. And if you notice on Snapchat, the majority of the featured brands that are on there are like Coke and Nike and, those big
Billion-dollar companies.
Billion-dollar companies that their marketing budget is probably more than what some small businesses make in a year.
Right.
So, I think that's definitely an attractive aspect in terms of, the return on investment. You're not paying for the Instagram application. It's a free app. It's free to participate. And it's free to monetize that you're free to monetize that in any way you want to in terms of what you put in your message.
Right.
So it's up to you what you do with it, and it's up to you with how you use it. So, I think it's really interesting what Instagram has gone and done because, the thing is, you've got an audience on Instagram that sort of spans that. Last time on the podcast, we were talking about the generations. This is a great way to bridge that gap between the generations because I think, you have such a variety of different types of users on that platform that you're going to hit the millennials, you're going to hit the baby boomers, and you're going to hit the Gen Xers because they're all on Instagram. And we've seen the statistics is that there's really no good segmentation for the age ranges because everybody's using Instagram now.
Right.
It's become one of those platforms where it's easy, it's fun. Grandma can see the pictures of the grandkids.
Right.
You can see what's going on with your college buddies from across the world. That's kind of how I keep in touch with everybody because I don't see everybody's posts on Facebook. So it's really, really interesting. So I want to kind of talk about, I found this really neat article on Mashable. I kind of want to just talk about the side-by-side differences because it's basically the same list of things that I made. So we'll put this link in the show notes so you can take a look at it. But I think what's interesting about this, as soon as my spinny wheel of death, spinny wheel of doom, do 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 do, la 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 la, quick little break here. Waiting.
Febtober.
Febtober. Thanks, Audio Guru. That's not really loud or anything. Okay, so close observations. Facebook has done, according to a lot of different articles I read over a period of time, Facebook has copied Snapchat in a bunch of different ways. We've got Facebook Live, which we talked about in a previous podcast, which is something that it's crazy. I think I'm more Facebook Live notifications on a regular basis.
Yeah, they basically ripped off Periscope and what's the other one? I can't. What's the other one? Periscope and
Meerkat?
Meerkat. There it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the shooting a story. So this is basically the nuts and bolts of how they're the same or different. So Snapchat's app launches a camera that basically goes straight to a new video or a photo, and you can do whatever you want with it. And it's basically the same thing. You can access your camera on Instagram stories just by swiping left to your main feed. And it's really, really easy. I was testing it out earlier. And it's really simple to just open it up. And it's cool for the people who like to do those neat like selfie videos where you're just kind of like talking to yourself. Hold on. Wait, let's do one right now. There we go. We're going to send one. And there's a picture of there. We're going to add that. And there. Now, if you follow Stark Social on Instagram, you should probably be able to see those. So you can also browse through stories pretty easy. What I like about the shooting a story and browsing through stories on Instagram stories is that I don't have to sit there and have added all these people to followers. Like I want to get notifications for this person or I want to get I have had such a hard time finding people on Snapchat that when I search through friends or like I connect it, it's like, look for my Facebook friends, look for my people on email. I have such a hard time finding the stories I want to find. And then unless somebody sends me something directly, I'm basically at a loss.
Yes.
Yes,
I'm checking out.
he's just going to agree with me.
Dude, I get lost in Instagram. I love those, like, the squirrel.
I know.
This girl's a squirrel.
He's addicted to
Pumpkin.
animals on Instagram.
Oh, it's the best.
So you want to get Nate something for Christmas.
Oh, just tell me a new one.
Just
I
give him-
got one that's a fox. I got one that's a raccoon, one that's a squirrel. It's great. It's awesome. Pumpkin the raccoon.
That, ladies and gentlemen, is amazing. So, Instagram stories is right front and center. I think Snapchat stories, on the other hand, they're ranked in a way that it's all timeline based. So it's what's newest and freshest. So you kind of have to scroll to find stuff. It's a little bit frustrating to me because when I started to follow a bunch of people, it became really difficult to figure out like who's sharing what. And then I would click on something, and if I didn't click on something fast enough or tap on it fast enough, then it was gone. So I think just the difference between navigating is, it makes it a lot easier to find the stories. The other thing is people are really excited about you can do the same kind of doodles and emoji stuff in Instagram stories that you can do in Snapchat. So if you want to put like a cool caption, if you want to do like cool colors, if you want to add emojis over somebody's face because you're embarrassed that you're with them, you can do that as well. Nate's just going to be on his phone the whole podcast.
No, I'm here.
I'm like talking to myself here. Hey, Yakko, Wacko, and Dot, you guys want to join the podcast?
Well, that's what's funny is, as a designer, I always sort of cringe at the stuff that the doodles and stuff. I'm like, no, it should look better.
Well, what I'm reading in consensus of the different people that I've talked to that have tested it, they like Instagram's drawing tools better.
Right.
So it's a little bit easier to navigate. It's a little bit more advanced in terms of, where you place the doodles and things like that. So if you're looking to use Instagram stories in a fun, professional way, I think that, it's easy to draw like cool pictures and put stuff over it. I would play with it just like I recommend messing around with Snapchat to see if you like it. I personally, I got on Snapchat and I'll use it when I'm talking about it and then I forget about it.
Yeah.
And then I get on there and I'm like, oh, I'm in a Snapchat today. And then I'm like, I'm overwhelmed. Goodbye, Snapchat. So I've actually been on Instagram stories now like 4 or 5 times, which is good for me because I'm usually like, what? So the other thing about sending photos, the question came up and it was asked of, can I send other people photos of like stuff I have already in my queue? Like, if I have stuff in my photos, actually Snapchat's a little bit better for that in terms of sharing older pictures. It gives you access to things that you've already shared that's in your library. Whereas Instagram actually encourages you to just share things that were taken in the last 24 hours. So there's a difference there. Instagram only lets you share camera roll photos from the last 24 hours. So who knows if based on feedback, they'll change that, because I think Snapchat was initially the same and they released an update that changed that because people were like, oh, I don't like it. I want to send pictures I took last week of my cat and then she's not doing the same pose this week. So that's rude. So there's some subtle differences between Instagram stories and Snapchat. I'm becoming more and more of a fan of Instagram stories, I think, just because it seems easier to use. Yeah. You're just stuck on Instagram right now.
No, I'm looking.
You're looking?
I'm looking. It's awesome.
You're looking.
I love it.
I know. It's because he was born in the 80s.
Oh, 1980. I'm not a millennial. I'm Gen X. We already talked about this. Remember, I offended the baby boomers?
I'm gonna put that on a T-shirt. I'm not a millennial.
Dude, we can make money on that.
Oh my
That is
gosh.
an award-winning idea.
Okay, we're definitely gonna do that. Yeah, we'll have those T-shirts available for sale on our website, starksocial.com. So we're talking about Instagram stories today. I'm really excited about this just because I absolutely love Instagram anyway. Instagram is one of my favorite tools. Pretty much every client that we interact with or engage with ends up being on Instagram because it's a great way to promote your brand. You don't have to spend any money to do so unless you want to pay for advertising, which is cool because if you've got your Facebook page connected to it, you automatically get set up with a Instagram business account, which allows you to promote posts directly from Instagram. I talked about that last time. But it's quickly becoming one of my favorite platforms for advertising businesses that we work with on. And it's so easy to reach a vast amount of people. Instagram, you can do pictures, you can do video, you can do all kinds of cool stuff. And
we also have that layout app. Have you seen that?
Yeah. Yeah, and then
fun.
time lapse.
They basically ripped off Diptyque, but I don't know if you ever heard of them.
Diptyque.
Yeah, that's what it's called.
You shared it, and I laughed. I think because the name made me
the
giggle.
name is I don't think I said it that much. I remember when somebody told me the first time, I was like, "What? Say it again."
Are you trying to hit on me? What? Is that your pickup line?
Is that a dick pic? No, that's not what you just said. Because I swear to you, that's what you just said.
We are the Social Life Podcast. We can be subscribed to by going to thesociallifepodcast.com. I am Deanna Miller, Marketing Director for Stark Social Media Agency. That guy over there is Nate Imhoff, the Creative Director.
Drinking my coffee.
Drinking my coffee. What did you guys put in my coffee, by the way?
Just milk.
Just milk? I don't know.
Little roofie.
Oh. Alrighty then. Oh no, it's Mr. Bill. Yeah, so we can also be found on Instagram and Twitter at Stark Social, www.facebook.com/StarkSocial. Go to the YouTube channel. We've got a lot of quick tips and stuff once Nate gets them up on the YouTube channel. Oh, sick
So busy.
burn.
I've been so crazy busy.
Yeah,
this week.
his Asana is piling up.
It is. I'm starting to
Yeah,
avoid it.
piling up. I know, I noticed. Because my clients are like, hey,
I go in there and there's like this
where's
list.
my flyer? I don't know. Ask the media guy. Anyway,
She doesn't lie.
we are going to continue to talk about Instagram stories. I've got some more ideas and concepts to help you utilize them to share your business's story to make sure that your brand is being found everywhere that it should be. While we are on break, grab yourself a cup of coffee, whether it's Irish or regular. Grab a beer, bottle of wine. If you're driving and you have alcohol in the car, please pull over. Unless it's in the trunk, then just go sit in the trunk and drink it in there.
just climb in the trunk.
Climb in the trunk.
That's what makes it legal.
It's fine. I've heard that from police officers. I don't know. Anyway. All right, so we'll be back after the break. Enjoy yourselves. Don't get too drunk. We'll see you real soon.
This is the Monkey. My parents run the best social media company around. Go to starksocial.com today.
Welcome back to The Social Life. I hope you enjoyed your bottle of wine.
Whole bottle, huh?
Whole bottle.
In 2 minutes?
That was, well, I mean, if you chug it fast enough, you're like, chug, 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 chug. Or if you started at the beginning, you might be done with that bottle of wine, and now you're starting your second one.
Yes, but not driving while you're doing it because that's
No.
against the law.
Get in the trunk.
Get in the trunk. Oh, we crack ourselves up.
Oh, my Lanta.
All right, back to Instagram stories.
We're talking about Instagram stories versus Snapchat. I have a couple different Facebook groups that I run where we talk about social media and people get to ask questions and I answer them and it's fun. But so the question came up, like, what the heck is Instagram stories? Like, is this another app I have to download? No, it's not another app you have to download. It's not an app you have to download. Did I say it? It's not an app you have to download. If you already have Instagram, you're golden. You're all set up. You go to your profile. You go to, I'm looking at it right now. Here we go. So you go to your profile and you go to your feed. And at the top, you're going to see these bubbles. And there's, if you've shared anything, it'll say your story.
Your
And
story.
It'll say other people.
I'm looking at our story. There's me.
Yeah.
Hey. Hey, me.
Oh, there you are. And then I scroll through and there's all the people I'm following. Like NBCLA has already jumped on it. They're talking about being at Porto's Bakery in Glendale. Love that place.
I've never been to Porto's.
I know.
We need to go.
Let's go there today.
All right, let's do this.
Okay. Snoop Dogg is sharing clownfish right now.
I love Snoop Dogg.
Who
He's so
doesn't?
awesome.
I'm sorry, that was 23 hours ago. He was enjoying the aquarium of the Pacific, it looks like.
So it's going to disappear in an hour.
Wow, yeah. Snoop Dogg.
I gotta check out Snoop Dogg's Instagram.
Yeah, if you're not following Snoop Dogg, he shares all kinds of cool stuff, like just hilarious stuff. Like he'll do like little quick, because now it's 30 seconds. He'll do videos of himself like giving people advice, and he's a smart man.
Yeah, he
Just
really
saying.
is. Very
Oh,
savvy.
look, Pocock Brewery is at the Los Angeles Zoo.
Nice.
That's nice. The elephants are actually out. It's probably cool enough. Is that the LA Zoo? That looks nicer than the LA Zoo. Anyway. I just swiped and my friend's boyfriend's face popped in my face. And they're doing a video.
Did you just throw shade on LA Zoo?
I think the elephants are never out. Like I've been there I don't know how many times.
I'm from San Diego, so I have no problem throwing shade on that.
It's cool.
We got good zoos.
You guys got mad zoo game
Right.
in San Diego.
Nobody can beat
Nobody.
our animal game down there.
You guys have like the most animal parks of
Right.
like
We got
any
SeaWorld,
county in California.
Wild
right?
Animal Park. Well, no, it's Safari Park now.
Safari
it's called.
Park now.
When I was there, it was Wild Animal Park. And then, of course,
And
San
there
Diego
used
Zoo.
to be also back in the day the Wild Animal Kingdom experience.
I don't remember that one.
Yeah.
Anyways, I love SeaWorld.
That's when you could get in the car and drive through.
The penguins. Penguins
You
exhibit.
could not drive through the penguins exhibit.
Oh.
No, it was not driving through the penguins exhibit. Sorry.
I still remember when the last time we went to SeaWorld, I wanted to go and feed the penguins.
I know, but they were sold out.
Yeah, so disappointing. You got to apparently book
You
way
have
in
to
advance.
book like 2 or 3 weeks in advance, and we're
Crazy.
like, "Oh, we'll just go and buy the tickets." And they're like, "Yeah."
I was so crushed.
sorry, not sorry. Is
I was
basically
like, I get
what
to
they
go
said.
in there and feed a penguin? This is awesome.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Anyway, so we were talking about Instagram stories.
I would do an Instagram story if I fed a penguin.
I would hope so. So basically, there's a lot of questions that have been coming up. We did talk about Snapchat on a previous podcast where I said, you got to try it and see if it fits with your business. If you want to, go that direction with your brand, it's a great way to get instant, eyes in front of your product or on your product for a specific generation. And
Right.
people are always trying to target the younger generation because they have, for some reason, a lot of disposable income. I did not have that much when I was younger.
No, I did not either.
No, I didn't. That's why I was always like, hey, buy me a drink.
Girls do that. Guys can't do that.
No. Well, guys can do that, but they'll just get laughed at.
Right.
Buying you a drink.
Right.
Anyway, so Snapchat is, I've said it before in trainings and webinars, it's a tough nut to crack.
Right.
It's not easy. It's frustrating. It's confusing. There's a lot of people who get it and they use it and they love it, and more power to you. I have set up a couple of clients using Snapchat and they have gotten really good with it. There's some things that Instagram stories does copy from Snapchat, and I mean, push comes to shove, like there's nothing proprietary about technology that you put out into the world. It's really hard to turn around and say, I know a lot of people were saying, can Snapchat sue Instagram? No, not really. It's maybe they can. I don't know. But anyway,
Can't really sue for a feature though.
yeah, I think it's just because it's an addition.
Facebook,
and it's,
Facebook had feed. It was the first one that had feed, and now everybody has a feed.
right.
So like they're all Facebook's ripping off ideas. Other people are ripping off ideas from Facebook, and they're all just everyone's fighting for people's time because we only have so much time
Right.
to spend, and if you're going to spend it on a given like Snapchat, that's what Instagram's trying to put a. I mean, we'll see if this works for them. I mean, it might just be bringing Snapchat like features to people who don't get Snapchat.
Well, and I think that's what they were trying to do.
Right.
I mean, the thing is like Facebook has been trying to bridge the gap forever, for to reach that millennial audience that
Right.
people are really excited. Those are the ones that are looking for that hardcore, solid, fun, user-generated content, and that's really what I think Instagram has always done really well, is
Right.
helping you create great user-generated content. They added the ability to make videos. They added the ability to make the videos longer. So it went from 15 seconds to 30 seconds. They've continued to find ways to improve upon what they do. They allow you to change your filters around so you can
Right.
have a set amount of filters. But they keep adding filters. And if you didn't know that, I think it just blew your mind. So you're not stuck with the filters. You can do whatever you want with what you've got. You can share certain types of pictures. I know people are not really happy with their censorship policy, but it is what it is, la-di-da. So we ended with, the last segment, we were talking about sending old photos. With Instagram, it's photos that have been taken in the last 24 hours. How do they do that? I don't know. It's an algorithm. It's technology. It's above my brain.
That's probably the big difference with Snapchat and Instagram stories right now is that is the censorship. That probably is going to keep a lot of people.
Well, I think that's
younger. But that's probably not a business's audience, though.
But I don't think that's such a big deal. I think the big controversy is like what was that thing that was like going around? It was like Nipplegate, where it was like people were trying to find ways to like share their nipples in a way that was like, haha, Snapchat. I'm sorry, Instagram can't, block me for this. It's all very interesting. I appreciate the creativity. So anyway, the other thing here we've got is, chatting, the question came up is like, you can, on a Snapchat, you can go back and forth and talk to the person who sent it to you. So let's say Nate sends me a story on Snapchat and you can sit there and, you can do the same thing on Instagram stories pretty much. Instead of chatting, it's called messaging. So you can tap on somebody's story and you can tap on the 3 little dots on the bottom right-hand corner and it opens up message. And then you can type in a message and send it to somebody and go back and forth. So it's pretty much the same. There's really no difference there. Another question came up is, who can see it? What are the privacy settings? How do I do that? Because with Snapchat, they say that you can limit the users. You can send it to a certain group of people. You can make it public. It's basically the same thing on Instagram stories. They have pretty similar privacy settings in terms of stories. So on Snapchat, you can choose, right? And on Instagram, you can choose. So on Instagram stories, you can select to hide the story from a certain group of people. So let's say, it's really funny. This was the conversation I had this morning. So like if my daughter doesn't want me to see something she posts, she can block me from seeing it. And my response was, yep, that's how it works. So you can make it everyone, you can make it people you follow. So this is really good for the people you follow aspect of it. As I think of it, if you're trying to get the people you follow to notice that you're doing something cool, this is a great way to do it. So everyone, people you follow, or you can make message it. You can also turn it off so nobody can message you. So you're just simply sharing stories. So there's a bunch of different thought processes behind Instagram stories and which one is better. I personally am feeling that the design and the orientation and the usability of Instagram stories is like 10 times easier.
Right.
So if you
don't have another app, I mean,
you don't.
It's not like there's a shortage of apps.
You don't have to download another app. There's a lot of things that are in terms of limitations. You don't have to learn a whole new language. If you're already using Instagram and you speak the language of Instagram pretty well, you can navigate Instagram stories really, really easily. It's a cleaner design. They have, I know Snapchat has I don't even remember how many users now. I was looking at the statistics. I forget now.
They have a lot.
So they have a lot, and Instagram also has a lot.
A lot.
But I think in terms of usability, if you play around with it and you check it out, I think it's a much cleaner design. It's much easier to use. I think the developers that created and worked and built Instagram had a specific goal in mind with really high-end graphics and beautiful filters and ease of use. And they were all really frustrated with Facebook and they wanted something fun and easy to use. So they created Instagram, and from that, I think it's just amazing. So in a nutshell, the ways that Snapchat is the same as Instagram. The stories format is 24-hour period, 10-second max photos and videos. Everything you post disappears after a day. You can shoot full screen in the app or upload things that you've taken in 24 hours. You can add drawings and text and fun emojis and swipeable filters and things like that. You can save your individual story slides before or after posting them. So if you want to save them and share them, let's say on Facebook, Twitter, or someplace else, you can do that. Your followers are voluntarily tapping on your feed to see what you're doing. People can swipe from stories to reply to them, and you can see who's viewed your stories. So that's really cool, because then you can use, pro tip, you can use Instagram Messenger to message that person. Maybe they're a potential client or a lead. You can message them and say, thanks for, viewing my story. Don't forget to check out my website. More information on the blog. Let's see. This is a really long list. Instagram stories. What makes it different? The stories appear in a row, right? So you can see everything instead of like on a separate screen, like on Snapchat. They're sorted by most recent and who you interact with the most, which is cool. Let's see. Anyone you follow on Instagram, you can see their stories, so you don't have to search for people.
Right.
Oh, that's always like the bane of my existence.
Well, that's
with
the problem.
Snapchat.
That's the problem with Snapchat. Yeah. As soon as you go over there, it's like, there's a ton of people that have accounts, but nobody's actively using it because they all got confused with it too.
Right.
So it really depends on your audience. I mean, with this type of feature, whether it's Snapchat or Instagram stories, you really need sort of a boots on the ground mentality with that.
Mm-hmm.
Social media, meaning you don't really plan this stuff out. That's why they have the on the fly, like I'm going to write on it with my finger, or I'm going to draw a little picture, or it's a certain mindset versus like Instagram. Like I can plan out Instagram posts for months, in advance.
Right.
Knowing that like, we're going to do one for this holiday, we're going to do that for that, we're going to do, so that's the mentality. So it has to benefit you to be only 24 hours.
Yeah, no, and I think that the thing that I'm really liking about Instagram stories is I'm reading all these articles. The thing is, I think people are just going to respond to this better because it's easier to use. There are a few things that you need to know, though, that Instagram doesn't offer. So it currently doesn't feature any filters that are location filters, so native selfie lens filters, things like that Snapchat does offer. Let's see. You can't, on Snapchat, if somebody screen grabs your Snapchat, it'll send you a notification that somebody was trying to screen grab your story.
Really?
Instagram does not offer that yet, but who knows? And then on Snapchat, you can download a whole day's worth of stories to your photo album. But you can't do that yet with Instagram stories yet. But that doesn't mean that you can't, that you won't be able to do that in the future. So there's just a few things. I'm going to put this TechCrunch article in there because it's got a really great list of all of the things that it does that are the same and they're different. So we'll put this in the show notes as well. And there's a really cool video that basically does a whole neat outline. Also on Instagram, on their blog, they have a whole cool, really how-to for Instagram stories. If you're a business and you haven't yet checked out, just Google Instagram business blog, and it's so cool. They have tips and tricks and ideas, how to use the filters, how to set things up, what kinds of posts. They give you great ideas for posting based on what kind of business you are and what you're trying to sell and things like that. I'm just a huge fan of Instagram.
Yes, you can tell.
I like it a lot. Was this a little skewed to one side?
Yeah, you pretty much were giving a middle finger to Snapchat.
Sorry. Not sorry. Not sorry.
Well, it's a pave the boat when you're trying. You have clients that want to.
I'm just really excited because we have proposals out to potential clients, and I 3 of them this would be so cool for.
Right.
This is holy cow. This is awesome.
She's putting her hands up
holy cow.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Praise the social Jesus. Sorry.
The social Jesus.
Sorry if I offended anybody with that one. So we talked about Instagram stories today and apparently how much I love Instagram. Sorry. Sorry, Snapchat. But you're just not going to get me to love you.
Right.
Maybe you will. I don't know. Sway me. Send me something. I don't know.
Send her a koozie.
Send me a koozie. Yeah, I use
that'll win her over.
A wine bottle koozie.
Ooh.
Oh, there we go. All right. We are the Social Life Podcast. I'm Deanna Miller, Marketing Director for Stark Social Media Agency. With me all the time, because he won't go away, is Nate Imhoff, the creative director.
You keep feeding me, so I keep coming. and then there's coffee here. So
dang it.
I'm excited.
All right. Don't forget to subscribe to the Social Life Podcast. TheSocialLifePodcast.com is where you can find us. Check our website for blogs, quick tips, and all kinds of cool stuff, StarkSocial.com. You can find us on Instagram and Twitter at Stark Social. We're on Facebook. Just search Stark Social Media. YouTube, Pinterest. I don't know. We're everywhere. You can just track us down. That's cool. Thanks so much for joining us today.
What about next week?
Next week, we're talking about
Mind your manners.
Mind your manners on social media. I have a lot to say about that, and I won't be talking about Instagram. Thanks so much for joining us today. We talked a lot about Instagram, and I like them. So, hey, Instagram, send me something cool.
Yeah, feel free to send us
Fangirl
something
here.
cooler than a cozy.
I almost love Instagram as much as I love Marcus Lemonis.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, Marcus Lemonis mentioned.
I'm 100% in charge.
Join us next time on the Social Life Podcast when we talk about minding your manners on social media. We'll see you next time.